everyone. I just wanted to do a little tutorial for newbies that are obviously in need of a power wheelchair. Now this is talking about a power wheelchair because that's precisely what I've got. When you first get your power wheelchair, you will have you know, a little quick drive around to get used to it before you actually agree that you do like that particular wheelchair, or if it's the right one for you. So once your wheelchair is delivered, there's a couple of important things really that you need to focus on before going outside. The one is to learn to use your well, this is your main, I call it a joystick. So that's your main, gets you going, okay, moving backwards and forwards, cycling. Now this is a road wheelchair. You know, if you're not in need of a road one, you won't have all of these different buttons. So for instance, we've got indicators, okay, we've got hazards, and then you've got the left, right, okay, so I've got to make sure that I turn all that off. Now the other one is obviously learning, so majority of them are the same. So this bit here is your speed. So while you're indoors, you really want it on about 1 or 2, because unless you've got a massive house, you're not going to be need to be, you know, speeding around the place. So that's the first important thing, is to learn your wheelchair. Now another little quick display that I do want to quickly go over is some power wheelchairs come with a lift and a tilt. So on this particular make, this is now, I'm going to obviously make sure that I've got room, okay, so this is going to now, this is supposed to be to come to like if you have back problems, or like myself with legs and back. Now this one can go pretty far back, but I don't like to go any further than that. So then we come back down. I'm not going to lie, the lift is quite slow, so to go on lift, you just simply press that one that way, and then we're going to pull back, and then that is lifting the wheelchair up. So say if you're out and you want to be talking to somebody, you know, same height, or kitchen cupboards. I mean, I don't think this is going to get as high to do the lamp, for instance, change a bulb, but to get to my shelves and whatnot, you know, it's just perfect. Now I don't suggest riding around your home like this, but so it is slow, and it does take a lot to get used to, especially that feeling of tilting backwards. So I suggest that you just do a bit by bit and get to your perfect tilt. So you'll know once we hit, so it kind of rocks, and then so then we go back onto that one. So now I'm going to try and hopefully teach you how to open and shut doors. Okay, so what we basically need to do is go as close as we can with our foot plate, and then with our left hand and right hand on your control, we're going to come back behind the door, okay? So then the door is open. You know, now, so I've got long trousers on, they keep catching. The other one is doorways. We all have them. I think you can get wider, but ours are standard. So what you want to do is make sure you're kind of white central. Right, so I'm going to say that's about it. So, I don't know, your home's not the same as ours, but we've got very narrow. But because this is a mid-wheel drive, it will turn in the smallest of spaces. So that is very small. So then we're going to go back in now. So you do this slowly, and it does take time. So again, we're going to have our hand on the door handle, and you're using your right hand to control your wheelchair. So again, with your foot plate, you're going to go as close as you can and shut your door. Now, let's do it again. It's easier to practice at home before you go out, because doors, like in shopping centres, and especially the toilets, or even in the doctors, I did go to the toilet in our doctors, and I could hardly open the door I've got a way of doing it now, but until I kind of maybe film one day doing it outside the home, that may be an idea. But I'm just hoping, because you know, there's every day somebody's in need of a power wheelchair. Now this one, say, is a mid-wheel. So by mid-wheel is your main wheel is in the middle. Okay, so this gives you a shorter turning radius, and then you've got the little ones front and back. So that allows you then to be able to turn it without my trousers keep getting caught in the wheels. So now there are different types of power chairs. For the younger ones, they tend to go for the front wheel, the main wheel being at the front, because that gives them more to go on, you know, different terrains, so rough terrains, you know, like grass, mud, you know, when they go speeding through and up hills and whatnot. This is basically a mid-wheel, is for use at home and obviously outside of the home. But if you do live in a small bungalow, for instance, or you may be in a flat, I would go for a mid-wheel. But get comfort. The first thing is to be comfortable in your wheelchair, because you're going to be in it, you know, if you're anything like me, I'm in it more than out. So make sure it's the right one before you go kind of jumping into it. And you know, not all of us want this lift and tilt, but I wanted it because, you know, I thought I don't want to be too reliant on my husband. You know, I want to be able to do a few little things. So I hope that helps, and thank you so much for your support. If you do need anything, please let me know.
The seat.
Out.
Another seat.
Yeah. Yeah, this comes with a seat belt. So I'm not sure with all wheelchair power chairs, but I would have thought majority of them come with a seat belt, especially a road wheelchair. But I think we've kind of gone over, you know, the most important thing is get used to it in your home before you go outside. Get a feel of this one, okay? Because as soon as you take your finger off there, it stops. It will do like a click. Okay, so move forward, move backwards. So the other thing I did want to mention with the, if I can say it, the Deutsch, I don't know, Sango Slimline, they do come in like the mid wheel, front wheel,
And the rear.
and the rear.
Yeah.
And I think they come in 3 colours. Generally it's the gold, blue and red. But I mean, I've had mine since Christmas. And the other great thing with this one is you're cushioned in. So if I come forward, you see these side panels, you can push them in so you are almost snug. Also the arms lift up, okay? So say for instance, like I do to get on my bed sometimes, I would kind of slide off the seat. So, but obviously this one is a lot heavier because of the control, so I'd never use this side. And also you can get little accessories like I've got, a little bag, and this is from a company called Bundle Bean, and they also do adult cozy toes, which it's just great because you can keep your bits and pieces, your phone, your glasses, medication. But yeah, I hope that helps, and you know, take care, and thank you so much for your support. Bye, keep smiling. Hi everyone, this is really part 2 to my last video because I couldn't obviously get everything in. So this is really for people that are quite new to being an owner of a power wheelchair. So it's just a little bit of help, and I'm hoping it does help. So basically yesterday it was really learning about opening and shutting doors and doing a little turn. I can't remember. I think that was, and some of things, bits and pieces about the power chair that I've got. Now obviously, like I said yesterday, I have got the lift and tail, and I did make a point of when you tilt, it's mainly for pressure points, and also it does help if you have neurological problems like I do, and many people out there that do have spasms, fasciculations. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but apparently the more you recline back, your legs kind of, so I'll do a quick, actually I'll come a little bit forward. So it's got to be quick because we're on a timer. So I'm going to go back as far as I possibly can. I don't like going too far back, but I'll do my best. That is probably my limit, but some of you may be able to have the, I'll go back a little bit more. Now I don't know how far this thing goes back. So what this is doing is taking weight off your spine, your neck and your legs. So it's to do with gravity basically, because when our legs are down, we're more at gravity. So when that, I'll go back a little bit more. Whoa, it's a weird feeling. I mean, you can go on these machines that does that, but it kind of takes you right down. Now the other one is for the tilt. It's obviously if you've got a WAV, I've already done it in a video before, is to always have your kind of self tilted back a bit. So I kind of go probably to that level. And that's basically for long journeys. It's again taking the pressure. For me, it's mostly off my legs because my legs are very painful. And also when you go down hills. So obviously when you're going down a steep hill and you're at a normal level, you're going to feel like you're going down almost like Helter Skelter, to be quite honest with you, or one of them terrifying rides. Is it Helter Skelter? Back in the day it was called that, roller coaster. So always have it reclined, and if you do happen to come across a steep hill on your journey, is to bring yourself slightly back. Alright, so that's a couple of little tips. It's what I've learned really by myself. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and help people to reverse or park up. So I've got a fairly small gap there, and I park there because my reclining chair's there, and my husband helped me out of the chair, of the wheelchair, to get into the chair. So what I'm going to do is say I'm on 2 miles an hour. So you always look to the objects. So I've got two things at the side of me. So I've got to focus on being almost at the middle. But what I do is I tend to come more to the chair so that it's easier. So I kind of about there, so that my bag, that my bits and pieces are in, are close to me while I'm in my chair. And don't worry if you go back too far, your wheels kind of take the brunt of it. So as you can see, the wheels are almost touching the furniture, but it won't hurt it. Okay, so that's just another little helping tip, is how to reverse and also to park your wheelchair up. The other one is I'm going to show you how to, if you've got like a new build, or you're in a bungalow like we are, the bedroom isn't particularly big. So when I come in here, for instance, to maybe brush my hair, I've got to somehow get out of it. So Steve will show you roughly the space there. Okay, now it's not a lot of space, and so this is my everyday thing. So I'm here doing my hair, and somehow I've got to get out. So bring yourself back slowly, and you've got to come back to the widest part. So turn slowly, you're head on then with the door almost. You bring yourself back. Now I find having like a dressing gown, so that now I'm going to pull that door open with that dressing gown. Now the other thing you can do is tie a piece of string on the door handle, so that instead of having to mess around with your door, you can have like a tie, an old tie, grab hold of it, pull the door back, and then out you go. So, you know, we are in a very small space. Now, sometimes I can do this, So I'm going to come towards Steve, all right, and then I'm going to bring the wheelchair back. So I'm doing totally different. So maybe, again, I've forgotten something, some meds, for instance, all right, so go and get my meds, and then I'm going to then do it again. So we come back quite slow. Make sure you're kind of almost central in the space that you're in. If you're in a tight space like we are, and then you make sure that your wheels kind of away from, say, from the bed, and the foot plate misses our wardrobe door. There are a few knocks when I first started, obviously, and again, due to weakness in my arm and hand, my left hand, I grab hold of that and I come back with the door. So it's hard to begin with, but I find the more you practice, the better. And so in doorways, make sure that, you know, you're almost right in the middle of it. Now I've got headlights, so again, if I go through another door, then we're in. So I do a quick turn around to shut the door. And now what I'm going to do again is now I'm going to reverse. So maybe go in the chair. So again, make sure that you've got plenty of room. And it doesn't matter, whatever you've got behind you, it's the little wheels, it's not going to damage anything. And so I'm going to then come a little bit closer to the chair. Don't be frightened of that, because as soon as you take your finger off it, it's going to stop. So I'm going to come a little bit wide, check that I can get into my little bag, and I'd say that. So I hit the bit there of the furniture, but it's not going to hurt it. And then obviously Steve can help me onto the chair. So I'm hoping these few little helpful tips will help you. Anybody new to having a power chair, or one's on its way, and if you were like me, you were happy, but at the same time it's daunting, because when it comes into your home, reality hits you. But honestly, this is going to help you out. If you're having trouble with an illness, or, you know, anything that's causing you trouble walking, basically, a wheelchair is going to give you freedom, it's going to give you independence, and it kind of gives you a new life. Voice is going, sorry. Because of this new lemon 8 that's appeared somehow in my bio, I accidentally clicked on a suggestion of friends, and next this link appeared. Can't get rid of it. Now when I got to 1,000 followers, you're allowed to put a GoFund link on there. We can't, because of this lemonade. So if anybody would like to help, we need a lot of renovations doing, particularly for me. At the moment I cannot get into my wet room. There's a big wall with our airing cupboard, and it's blocking me getting into the wet room. So no matter how little or big, or I'd be just so grateful. My few little things to end off with is to try and enjoy life as hard as it is when you're in pain, and also to try and just smile. Don't let it take your life away, okay? God bless, and thank you for supporting me, and just keep smiling. Love you.